Hi everyone and welcome to Book Boop. My name is Rachel and today I have a reaction video for you. I was looking back at some of my other videos that I posted earlier this year and saw one that was either book series I need to read or book series I still want to read, and I don't really remember what series I put on there, so I thought it'd be fun to do a reaction video and see how well I've been doing on that list this year so far. I don't fully remember what I put on that video, so we'll find out together. Now, I'm not fancy here. If you haven't been here that long, or maybe you've been here a while, you may have realized that I don't really do any editing. And that's because that stresses me out. I don't have a lot of knowledge with it, and I don't really have the time to do it. So I just sit down and do the video. So the way that I can do a reaction video, instead of watching the video here while you watch me, while I watch a video, and having the video up here too for you to see, I asked my husband to kindly write down the name of each book series I mentioned onto a little card, and I'm going to react that way. So that way you're getting my genuine reaction for each of these book series to see if I've read them, while making it nice and easy and simple for myself, because that's how we do it here. All right, does that make sense? Let's go ahead and jump in and see how I've been doing on these book series that apparently I still want/need to read. So let's see. The first one I've got here is Everland by Wendy Spinell. Yeah, I haven't read this one yet. I kind of remembered this one was on the list, and I have to admit I'm starting to feel a little bit wary of reading this series. Only thing I know about this series is a YA fantasy trilogy. It's a rather older series, and it does like either a retelling or a dark spin on some popular children's classics such as Peter Pan, Alice in Wonderland, and Wizard of Oz. The covers look very kind of like steampunkish a little bit and dark, and I love reading fairy tale retellings or kind of like children's story retellings, especially if they have a dark spin on them. However, I'm a little bit nervous about jumping into a older YA series because they tend to be really tropey and really angsty, a la the Splinted series by A.G. Howard. That one was crazy tropey, the love triangle thing, and it was just too much, and I did not like that series, and I'm nervous about it being that way. So the further away I get from like how long it's been since I've put this series on my list, the less I want to read it. So I'm not 100% sure I'm still gonna read it. Honestly, I just need to start the first book and see how it feels. Like if it feels like it's gonna be really tropey, angsty, old school YA, then I just don't read it. But it just sounds interesting because it's got like this dark fairy tale feel. So, but yeah, I haven't read that one yet. I haven't even touched it. So not doing well so far. All right, what's the next one? Wendy Darling series by Colleen Oakes. Haven't read this one either. Not doing well so far. So Colleen Oakes wrote a series that I really loved. She wrote the Queen of Hearts series, which was a trilogy, YA trilogy, kind of origin story of the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. And it was sort of like a almost more realistic telling of Wonderland, which was really cool. I really liked it a lot. Wendy Darling, I think it's a Peter Pan retelling from Wendy's perspective, I think. I just liked Colleen Oakes, and I liked her kind of like retelling origin story style for Queen of Hearts. So I thought, I love Peter Pan, but yeah, I haven't touched this one either. And it is a little bit of an older series as well. I'm not sure how many books are in the series either. I assume it's probably maybe a trilogy, but I haven't touched that one either. Yep, not doing great. All right, what's the next one? Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. Haven't touched this one either. I do have the first book. It's on my TBR cart in my room downstairs, but I haven't touched it. It's one of those series, like I think I'm really gonna love it, but it's a really long series, and I think the books are still coming out. It's several books long, and they're all chunkers. It's a middle grade series, and all I know about it is it's about a girl that finds out that she is part elf and she's magical, and she ends up going to a magic school. That's all I really know. I'm sure there's way more involved than that, and I've heard great things about it. I've just been really afraid to start it because of how long it is, and I've been trying to kind of finish up series that I've already started, or maybe shorter series that I really want to read so I can get through them faster, because Keeper of the Lost Cities series is It's long, and I'm afraid of long series. I'm afraid of commitment. All right, the next one. Oh, finally, one I've done. The Scythe series by Neal Shusterman. I have read the Arc of Scythe trilogy by Neal Shusterman this year. If you haven't heard of that one, it is a YA dystopian utopian series. And it's all about the world no longer dealing with death. People don't die anymore. Your life can be reset. My dog just walked by, so I'm sorry if you could see his tail or hear him just shake himself. But death has been eradicated. You don't get sick anymore. And if you die, you can be revived. Your age can be restarted. Of course, there's a problem with population, as you would think, if nobody's dying. And so this group of people is created called the Scythes, and they are given permission to kill people. They're supposed to randomly choose people to kill permanently so that they can keep the population growth down. So I did read it. I'm very glad I did. This was a series I've been wanting to read for the longest time, and I will say I did like it. I didn't love it. I thought it was going to be a 5 out of 5 series for me. I thought it was going to blow my mind, and it was going to like one of my new favorite things that I would shout from the mountaintops. It's not. I liked it. I didn't love it. The concept, the whole idea of it is really cool. The concept behind the whole series is cool. I really wasn't totally attached to the characters. The plot sometimes wasn't my favorite, but the whole idea of the series, the whole concept behind the series is really cool. And I think it's well worth reading. So if that sounds interesting to you, that concept, then definitely go for it. A lot of people really love it, and it's one of their favorite series. I think I just had it hyped in my mind too much. All right. Hey, but at least there's one series I've read in this list. I still have a few more to go. Let's see what else I've got. Warcross by Marie Lu. That's a duology. Haven't read that one either. That one I keep seeing on my list, and I'm like, I want to read it, but I don't feel like reading it right now, and I keep skipping it. I know it's supposed to have kind of similar vibes to Ready Player One. It's about a girl who is really, really good at this virtual reality game. It's this very immersive game that like pretty much everybody plays. And I think she's figured out how to hack in the game. And then she ends up getting hired by the people that made the game to stop another hacker. I think. I could be totally wrong about that. I think that's what the premise is. And I've heard it's really good, and it's only a duology, so it shouldn't take me too long to read. And I loved Ready Player One, so I love the kind of like virtual reality kind of game thing, and I think it's fascinating, especially since I think that's where video games are going to be going and getting to the point where it could get closer to like a Ready Player One situation. So I don't know. I still haven't read that one either. Wow, so far I've only read one of these series. Okay, how many more do I have left? 3 more. Okay. I don't know if I've touched any of the rest of these. All right. Mirror Visitor Quartet by Christelle, Dabos. Nope. Haven't read this one either. There are these big chunker YA fantasy series. Were originally in French and were translated into English. The last book, there's 4 books in the series. The last book just came out, I think, earlier this year. And I keep putting it off because I keep thinking I want to read it in winter. So I am planning on hopefully reading the first book in the series this winter, maybe starting in like December or something. I keep putting it off for winter because the first book is named A Winter's Promise. And so for some reason, I just want to read in the winter and I think it's supposed to be cold. I think it's supposed to be like a really chilly, cold atmosphere in the book too. So, and it's about a girl who lives in a world where like there's these different kingdoms that are on these floating spires, and she gets married off to someone for like, I don't think it's like a marriage of convenience or a marriage of just like 2 different kingdoms kind of coming together, but she has to move to a different spire, and she also has the ability to walk through mirrors and to read objects, like to pick up an object and know its history, I'm pretty sure. So a little bit of magic stuff in there, different kind of like high fantasy world. It sounds really interesting. I've heard it's really, really good. I've been putting it off partly because 1, I want to read it in winter, and 2, because they're big. And I have commitment issues. I'm afraid of long series, and I'm afraid of thick books. I like really fast, small books that are standalones or really short series. So, wow. Okay, 2 more to go. Please tell me at least one of these other ones I've read. Twisted Tales by Liz Braswell. Now, this one isn't specifically a series. These are the books that have been written, the Twisted Tales series by Disney, that have been written for different fairy tales. Of course, now there is a truck outside backing up and beeping. I'm sorry if you can hear that. We don't edit here, so you're just gonna have to deal with it, or I'm gonna have to deal with it. Okay, so it's like there's a Alice in Wonderland one, which is the one I want to read the most, where it's like, what if Wonderland's in danger and Alice is running very, very late. There's another one that's like a Little Mermaid one, like what if Ursula won? And there's there's several of them. There's like a Mulan one and a Cinderella one and a Frozen one. There's like a whole bunch of different ones of like twisted tales of like, most of the time it's like, what if the bad person won kind of thing, or what if this one other thing was different in the story? How would it have changed? So it's not like a series. They're not all connected to each other. They're all separate things, but I've been wanting to read some of those. I want to read the Peter Pan one. I want to read the Alice in Wonderland one. The Cinderella one sounds cool too. So there's several of them I want to read. Have I read any of them? No, I haven't. For some reason, fantasy in my mind is connected with winter. I don't know why that is. So a lot of times I am more in the mood for fantasy when it's cold outside. So maybe I'll get to some of these in the winter. But yeah, I haven't read those either. Wow, so far only the Arc of Scythe series is the one that I've touched. This is embarrassing. All right, last one. The Archived by Victoria Schwab. I have not read this one either, but I did haul it. If you watch my book haul video that I posted the week previous, I just hauled this is a duology, and I purchased a bind up of this duology by Victoria Schwab. I'm trying to work my way through V.E. Schwab's works. So that one I haven't read either, but I own it now, which makes it more likely for me to read it because now I have it. So that's something. I feel like this has been a little bit of an epic fail when it comes to my reactions, because out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 series that I've mentioned earlier this year that I'd like to get to, I've read one of them. I haven't even started any of the other ones at all. Am I right on that? I'm pretty positive I haven't. Nope. Haven't started any of the other series. How much did I really want to read those books? Apparently not enough, because I still haven't touched them. Great. All right. Well, this has been fun and revealing and slightly embarrassing. So I hope you've had a good time watching me embarrass myself talking about books that I said I really wanted to read at the beginning of the year, and now look at them and say, I haven't touched really any of these except for one. Go me. Have you read any of these series? If you have, especially the ones that I haven't read, any of the ones that I'm like, I haven't touched this yet, let me know down below if you've read any of them, and if you're like, yes, this is so worth it, you should bump this up on your TBR, you should get into this. Please let me know. Also, let me know if you have a book series that you've been putting off. Like, you want to read it, but you keep putting it off and can't seem to get to it. Let me know that too. That might make me feel a little bit better if you tell me that. So answer that question for me. On this side of the video over here is a link to logo. I can't talk. This is the logo to my channel. If you click on that, you can subscribe to my channel. Follow me on my book journey. On this side of the video over here is a suggestion for another video if you would like to watch another one right now. But thank you so much for watching me embarrass myself. You rock. And don't forget to keep reading. Bye.